Hey everyone, it's Ryan here from Northern Edge Custom Creations. Welcome to the car hole, also known as my garage, studio, woodworking shop, whatever you want to call it. Today we're going to be building not one, not two, but three different coat racks. Two will be made out of live edge, locally sourced. One will be made from some pine that I found at a local hardware store. I'd like to thank today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is my dad. My dad provided me with some wonderful 1980s safety equipment. This stuff is vintage. We have our material selected. As I said, we have our 1x5 pine and our pieces of black ash here. As you can see, the black ash isn't flat. There's a warp to it. The pine, it's fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these pieces, we're gonna put them on a little jig, and we're gonna send them through the planer to flatten them out. Okay, so we put everything through the planer. As you can see, this piece is nice and flat. This piece has a little bit of movement in it, but for our purposes today, that's fine. Somebody didn't set the jig up properly, so this piece is a little bit thin, but we're working with hardwood, so we should be okay. That's what she said. On the majority of my live edge projects, I usually remove the bark with a jaw knife. It prevents it from flaking off after the product's finished. Also, we're going to use a miter saw to chop up our pine. Okay, the next step in the process is sanding, and more sanding. We're going to go from 60 grit all the way up to 220. Black ash is fairly porous. It takes stain and oil very well. We don't need to go any higher than 220. Okay, so we have the live edge all sanded. We sanded it actually to 220. If you look, you can see it's just perfectly smooth. I'm really excited to finish it. We're gonna finish it with some Watkins Danish oil, Watco Danish oil. They don't sponsor me. I can screw it up as much as I want to. Just to let you guys know, with the pine, what we're going to do is we're just gonna kind of make a little offset. We're gonna strap it together, and then we're gonna put some floating shelves on it with the Craig jig. And we're gonna give it a little bit of a stain. Well, maybe that should go that way. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna kind of just be creative and do whatever we want. That's the fun of woodworking. There's nothing that says you can't be creative. So let's get going. Oh yeah! We're near the end of the process here. We're just at the finishing stage. As you can see, we dry fit the material for the live edge, and it's just looking gorgeous. If I had a cameraman, I'd ask for a close-up of that, but it looks probably looks better from far than anything. Here's the other piece too. For theatrical purpose, we'll put the hooks back on later and you can see what they look like, but I'm really excited about how these turned out. For the last step in the process for the pine, what we're gonna do, I thought about strapping it with some 1x2, but I think what I'm gonna do instead is use my trusty Craig jig and we're gonna join them all together. Our pine project is now complete. We have the hooks here, just dry fit. We'll do a couple ooh and ah theatrical shots after this so you can see some close-ups of what it looks like. The reason why the hooks are just sitting here with holes pre-drilled is so I can take this handy little tool, which clearly works, to find a stud and mount the coat rack to a stud. I can hide the screw with one of the coat hooks. So pro tip, if you're gonna put one of these things up, if you're gonna build one, you're gonna DIY one, put the hooks on last, that way you can hide the screws. Well, that's a wrap on this project. We have our pine coat rack, we have our live edge coat racks. I'll leave a link in the description below if you're interested in purchasing one or having something custom made. I'd like to thank my sponsor again for the safety gear. It's practical yet fashionable. Thanks, Dad, for keeping me safe. We'll see you next time.